How to optimize your websites to get more AI citations? First, let's understand why should you care about AI chatbots. By 2026, 25% of users will migrate their regular search experience to AI chatbots and agents. This creates new risks and opportunities for all companies. People and websites producing publicly available content has to somehow increase their organic growth. But in order for our businesses to stay relevant and be discovered by new audiences, we have to understand how AI chatbots generate their responses. And there are three different stages. LLM model training, scanning, so AI bots crawling the internet, retrieval, so selecting most relevant chunks from the DB that will answer the user's query. Let's do a deep dive. First, the LLM model training. The first way on how our data may become part of the chatbot answer is that it has been used in training data. From the company's perspective, there aren't any benefits if their content was scraped from the internet. The output doesn't contain the citations, links to your website, or any information about the author. That's why we have a lot of lawsuits challenging the use of copyright data to train AI models, and recently Anthropic agreed to pay 1.5 billion to settle book privacy lawsuit. And, for example, Wikimedia published how it affects their sustainability. The training data allows LLMs to sound like humans and provide nicely structured answers, but these answers are very prone to hallucinations and have a hard cutoff date on news relevance. Companies which data was a big part of training corpus have started creating deals with AI companies. For example, Reddit and OpenAI, or Wikimedia Enterprise and Google. If you believe you have enough high quality human generated data that it can be used as a training data, sell it. Don't give it for free. Then there is scanning. This is the most important step for us as website creators. In 2020, Meta's research team has introduced RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. It allows AI chatbots to have up-to-date information almost free of hallucinations. Before actual retrieval as part of RAGflow, AI companies have to find and store the most relevant chunks of data that could be helpful to answer user-specific queries. That's why we've seen the rise of AI crawlers all over the internet. The bots are scraping the internet not only to find training data, but also to find relevant pages which they can use as part of their RAG data pipelines. When they scan each page, they try to understand their experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, and recognize relevant chunks of data and their semantic meaning to have a deep contextual understanding. That's why if we want to start appearing in AI chatbot citations, we have to focus on generative engine optimization, so GEO. Then there is a retrieval part. So at this stage, once your website has been scanned, sliced into chunks associated with high EEAT scores, it can finally be retrieved when necessary. Once the retrieved chunks content is presented back to the user, the content is slightly changed, right? It's LLM generated, but with our page being credited for the work and listed in sources. That's how we can start growing the organic traffic. So, how to create GEO optimized sites with high EAT scores? You have to, define brand's experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. Experience. The focus here is on demonstrating the experience about the topic that we speak about. Might be an example as while working with our clients, we noticed that exact pattern how our GEO strategy increases the traffic from AI chatbots by 30%. The engine can detect that you as a writer have a live experience on the topic at hand. The next parameter influencing the PQ, so page quality rating, is expertise. Here you are not describing your experience with a given topic, but how qualified you are to express opinions about it. That's why the page should have an info about the author or authors. For example, at this website, I, included my full professional profile, and I'm linking back to my LinkedIn account. So my expertise as a senior engineering manager seems highly relevant to topics like this one, which I'm talking about. So LLMs, AI, RAG, etc. Right? Authoritativeness. Here is the reputation of the brand behind the website. For example, as Google says in their general guidelines to search quality rating, the authority on how to get French citizenship as a person from different country is the website linked to the French government, which gives them a big authoritativeness over the process. All three may overlap sometimes, but to put it into perspective, or like applying for citizenship example, experience is written by a person who has tried to apply for citizenship, doesn't require you to be an expert in the matter of the authority. You can just explain the struggles you had, mistakes and successes. Expertise is written by, a lawyer, which focuses on immigration law and supports people with getting their citizenship. And authoritativeness is like a French government, and you can create rules on how to apply for a citizenship. And the last aspect is trust. And this is the most important parameter of EAT. If the perception of your brand is that you're scamming people for money, you can't make it up by being a financial expert and by having a lot of experience in crypto, right? That's why it's not only important to understand, how you structure your website and content, but most importantly, what others write about you, and are you referenced as a source of truth? The other question people may have is, can you use generative AI when creating a website content? So Google written down their guidelines about use of generative AI and how it affects the EAT score. It's what you could have guessed. If you use generative AI to create high value content for users along all of four of these aspects, then it's all good. If you use it to generate AI swamp by publishing the content of lowest quality and insight, then your score will decrease. So what is the core of generative engine optimization principles? First, authority and trust. The core objective for AI chatbots is to minimize the amount of hallucination it produces. That's why the content it can trust, right? You can increase your authority and trust by making your claims verifiable and by providing evidence and citations from respectable sources. For example, like me citing in my article about this topic, the research paper named AI Answer Engine Citation Behavior created by Arlen Kumar and Leonid Palkuski from Berkeley, which introduces a 16-pillar auditing framework that converts measurable page features into banded pillar scores and normalized GEO score. The second aspect is page structure. So to ensure, the clear code structure for machines, take care of all relevant HTML tags like H1, H2, internal OG tags, and JSON LD. So basically, if you follow accessibility HTML guidelines, you are on a good path to have a good code structure. So you can see the example of a head content and how it may look like. Then there is a content structure. The more structured the content is with clear headers, subheaders, questions and answers, the easier it is for RAG process to have the correct semantic meaning for the correct chunk of the page. Lead with answer first, summary or key takeaways. The more active voice you use, the better. The crawlers prefer certainty more than opinions. So yeah, now everyone will have strong opinions loosely held. The last part of the good content is that it's fresh. The metadata and freshness has the biggest citation impact, 47%. To make this more actionable, you can inspect the code of the page link in the description when it's a written form of this video and analyze the page structure. You can see that the whole essay is optimized to increase EAT and GEO scores. And I hope that helps. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Oh, sorry. If you like this video, please subscribe.